Yes, my name is Ross Files. I was born on this river on the 18th of July 1939. Come July this year we'll make it 80 years. I've seen this river and what I can remember of it at its best and now at its worst. And I go back well before cotton. I can remember all the fruit farms here, grapes, everything. There was never pollution. But the minute the cotton was grown in the top reaches of our rivers was the end of the river. It was just nothing but filthy pollution that came down this water. And it was used as a sullage drain off the big cotton farms. For those people, everyone here that has a septic system at their home, they know what a sullage drain is. It's an excess drain off your septic system to take away the, well, to put it bluntly, shit. And that's exactly what the cotton farms has used the Darling River as, a sullage drain off their cotton farms. And you can talk to politicians from any side of government, both sides, Labor, Liberals, whatever. If they don't curb how much cotton is grown, if they're too afraid to wipe it all out, then they must cut back on it to stop this pollution of this river. And until such time as they do, they are never ever going to stop the pollution that we're being putting up with now. In the last few years, I rely on this river. I don't have town water, I don't have anything. It's just river water. Well, I've had to get it carted in at my expense, buy water. State and federal governments would not give you bottled water. It's in the paper now that they're thinking about it, I think. But up until now, all the water I drank down the block I've paid for out of my own pocket. And if you lived on the river and you watch bird life and your animal life, I pump the river water up into tanks, and I have a baby bath there for feeding, for watering the animals and the birds. The river's there and that's there. I fill that up out of fresh water and the river is over there. You can see all those birds, and even the kangaroos will come and drink out of that baby's bath, but they will not touch that water in the river. That's the sort of pollution that we have got. And when you look at birds and animal life that won't touch the river, you know in your own mind that it's doing no good to you. I've had a major cancer operation, and I blame that. Showering in it, cleaning your teeth in it, a bit of it's got to keep trickling down. And I blame that for that. That's just something, I've got to live with. But, like I said, there has to be a royal commission into this, what the Menindee and whatever they're called, has did to this river and allowed this cotton to be grown up there. They know it's polluting it, the politicians do, but they don't want to do anything about it because, there's corruption throughout our political world. It's just corrupt. And this is every side of politicians. I don't know, we're voting today, but I think you're flogging a dead horse whichever way you go. And, but I've seen this river. I've seen it. I've got an old friend over there. We were both born on this river around the same time. And both our families were drovers. Beryl, Carmichael and myself, we used to be with those droving teams. You could walk down to a waterhole in this Darling River when it was at its worst back then. That water was crystal clear. You could fill your quart pots up, have a drink of water your dogs, boil your billy, do what you wanted. You could see them big fish still swimming around in it. Now this river is still running, but it's running green with pollution, and they're telling you on the radios and through the media, don't drink it, don't shower in it, don't clean your teeth in it, and most of all, don't let your dog swim in it. It is that polluted. And you know it's true that if you let your dog or your dog swim in, I've only got a little fella now, I can control him, but I had 2 blue heelers and they love water. They're like duck dogs, you know, they just love water. Both those blue heelers drowned in that river in that pollution. Just by going to swim across it and drinking it, and they were both dead. I lost both those blue heelers doing that. I'll never have another blue heeler again, not while the water is like this, because blue heelers love water. They were great dogs, but I would never ever have another one on this river to see what happened to those 2. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's sad, it's corrupt what politicians are doing. You know, it's terrible when you are brought up to believe, you know, that politicians are supposedly good people that are going, you know, to help you. We've had them here when this fish kill was on, you know, and incidentally, in 80 years, I've never in my life seen a fish kill like that. When they say 1 million fish, they're having a lend to themselves. I lived 3 miles down. When I left that boat ramp that day, that Niall Blair or whatever he's called, that little grub, went tearing past in a boat. Well, I followed the river back down to my place, and I tell you what, it was just one massive fish kill. It was bad. And, you know, it just tells you that cotton comes before people where politicians are concerned. You know, our biggest cotton producers in Australia are America and China. Both countries have polluted, the people that are out here have polluted their own countries over in America, their own rivers, the Mississippi, China. In they come to Australia, and our crooked politicians welcome them with open arms. You know, all I'm just saying is, you know, how are we going to control this when your politicians are so corrupt? Just how are we going to stop it? This river is the greatest piece of disgusting, destructive work that any governments of any countries have ever did, and they ought to hang their heads in shame. You know, you have the likes of Barnaby Joyce. You know, he was proven as corrupt, but he says it's only supposition. You know, what he did, that man, and he's still walking around free. They have that little piece, you know, written into law. They cannot be held accountable for anything they do while they're a politician. It's a great piece, isn't it? You try it. I'll try it. I know where I'll end up in about 5 minutes. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time and everything else. But, you know, but this river is a disgusting mess, and I tell you what, it's going to take a long time before we can ever bring that back. One thing, if those 2 cyclones met in that catchment area, then we'd have a chance, because all their banks and their dams up in the cotton farms wouldn't be able to hold that. Then it could come down and, you know, give us fresh water, and perhaps then never ever again be left to politicians to say what can happen to the water in these lakes, when it can be released and when it can't. It must be taken away from politicians. They don't value the river like we do with the people that live on it. We've got to look after it. It's our livelihood. I don't have town water. I don't have any other water. Like I said, I bought bottled water until there were good people come along here a month or so back and gave me a heap of water. But not the government. They said, no, if we did that, that'd make it look like, you know, we're bad. We've polluted the river and now we're giving you bottled water. They're trying to do a bit of a backflip, you know, coming up to this election, I think, but a bit late. But anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Did you have any questions? Just before you go, after you grew up in a droving family, how did you make a living in this area? What did you do for work?
I worked on the rebuilding of the building of this lake scheme.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked on there. And in 1963 I had the chance to go into the mines in Broken Hill, which I did.
Okay.
And I went in there and married and reared a family, but always I was coming back to this river.
Yeah.
My family still live in Broken Hill.
Yeah.
I live here. Yeah.
And how do you feel that the family and the children and the grandchildren are looking at the river at the moment?
Well, they used to say to me, "Pop, you're not allowed to sell your block, it's got to come down to us."
Yeah.
Do you know what they say now? "Pop, when are you going to sell it and move back in town?"
Yeah.
As polluted as the river is, I can't.
No.
I can't. Broken Hill was good to me, and the mines, very good. But I came back here when I retired in 93, and I haven't left here since. I'm right here. I've worked around on mines and other, road building works up at Menindee in the gas fields. But I have never in all my travels seen the pollution that's in this river anywhere else.
Yeah.
Never. Never. It's so bad, and to know that it was, did with the blessings of the political parties in Australia, both federal and states, and everyone from the political side, Labor, Liberal, you name it, Nationals, they were all in it. They knew what was happening to the rivers, and to this river particularly, but did nothing. Not a thing. Cotton was the big money, the easy money. Well, everyone knows that both sides of politics, their biggest contributors are the cotton fields. The big, what do they call them? I don't call them cotton growers, some other agricultural growers or something, from upstream. They contribute to all their re-election campaigns. They're cotton farmers. That's where the money comes from the cotton farmers. They're all in their pocket. It's sad.
It is. It's very sad.
It's sad. But, what are we going to do? Wipe out the politicians? Take over the river and fix it up ourselves?
Take over the river and fix it up ourselves. I like that.
Yeah. That's about the only thing we've got left, is for people power to do that.
Yeah.
Take it over. Get rid of them. They're no good. They're parasites. I don't know what we're going to do. But I've got, some personal ideas on what I would do. But if I just, came out and said it, I think they'd jail me.
Well, thank you for sharing your time today.
That old lady there, we can go back a lot of years between the two of us.
Yeah, I think we could learn a lot. Yeah.
We could. Thank you.
Thank you.